Welcome to this mountain garage. Welcome back, guys. In this video, I will be replacing a rear trailing arm on a 2005 Ford Focus. Okay, so this is the part we're putting in. This is the rear trailing arm. That's what it looks like. This is the part number. And we also got the two upper control arms and the lower control arm. These are on standby because what usually happens is the bolts get frozen in here, and as you turn the bolt, it actually separates the bushing from the sleeve, then because this rusts in here with the bolt. So we got these new also. If we're not going to use them, we're just going to return them. So it's a good idea to get these when you do this job also. So let's begin. First thing we do is take the tire off. So here's the issue with this car. This trailing arm actually split almost in half. So what I did was I just welded it, and I welded a piece of metal here, a flat stock piece of steel. So let me show you how strong that is. We're going to put a pry bar in the back, and that's not going anywhere. So we did this because the parts stores were closed and this happened at night. So we're back here now, we're going to replace this. In order to take this drum off, we need to pop this center cap out. That's a 30 millimeter socket on there. And now we're going to try to pry that off. It's on there a little tight. She's a tight. There she is. Now we take the e-brake cable off, push that forward, and that slides through that hole, baby. And now this one here, you just gotta push the tabs in and pull it out from behind. Woohoo! Okay, this is a 9/32 headed bolt over there that holds the e-brake cable onto the trailing arm. So go ahead and take that off. Alright, now for this to come off this slit over here, we have to take this piece off of this. So what you gotta do is you gotta tap it over here with a little punch, and it'll slide out until you get over here, and you just pop this out. Alright, so we're gonna put it on that bolt over here, and go ahead and tap that out. Just like that. And that comes out just like that. What we did was we put this over here to cause some resistance so we could tap it out from the top. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take the cylinder, the brake cylinder off from here, the line, but we're not going to do that. We're going to crack it loose from here because this needs to come out from here anyway. So we're just going to crack it off loose from here. That's an 11 millimeter tube nut on there. We put a flare wrench on it. We're going to crack that loose. Yeah, baby. Woo! Cracked the loose. Now we left this in here because this holds it in place. So once we undo that, we're going to pop this clip off and take this out. Okay, so that's very loose, but it's dripping very slightly. We're going to leave it on there still. We're going to put a flathead in here to pop that clip out. There's little holes sticking. So we pulled it out a little bit with a flathead, just enough to grab it with a pair of pliers and yank it out the rest of the way. There you go. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and loosen that up, and then we're going to put one of these here to hold the brake fluid from escaping.
Seems like a... Oh, there we go.
And pop this in there. Hold on.
Tell me it's too thick. There we go. Oh, perfect.
There you go, baby. I'm going to put the link to these clips in the description below. there's a little bolt over here to take the speed sensor off. So we can do it for easier access. We can take the shock out of the way and push it out of the way. So that's a 15 millimeter bolt over there. Go ahead and take that off. And the shock goes out of the way. That's a 5/16 bolt over here for the speed sensor. Go ahead and take that off. And it's snapped in there. So that's the speed sensor there. I'll put a little punch over there, just gently push it out. And it's out. Okay, now we're just going to pop these out. Stick a panel removal tool back there and just pop it out. So go ahead and take those off. And we have a broken bolt in there, and we'll show you how we're going to take that out and fix that. Now I take this whole assembly off. There's 4 bolts here. There's a 13 millimeter bolts. We're going to go ahead and take those off. This one. And 4. And this thing dropped. That's what holds it in place. Alright, so I'm just going to put a pry bar back here and pull it forward. Just like that. Oh, there. The whole thing comes out. Yeah, baby. Now for the speed sensor bolt that we snapped inside this wheel hub spindle. I'm gonna weld this nut on there. Hopefully it'll catch that broken off bolt and we could just screw it out. Is she coming out, folks? Is she coming out? That's the question. And would you look at that? Would you look at that? Now in the front of the trailer arm there's 2 15 millimeter bolts. There. That's a 15 millimeter, putting a breaker bar on there. It doesn't want to come off, so put a bigger bar on it. Woo! So we're going to put a little heat on this just to help it out. It's a lot of torque. Okay, now we're going to zip it off. Okay, so this is why we have the extra parts I showed you before. What happened here was this separator over here, this is pushing this out. Because what happened, that sleeve got rusted, frozen with this bolt, and also tore the bushing out of the sleeve here. So the inner sleeve got rusted, and it tore the bushing out of the outer sleeve, and separated this welded nut off the trailing arm. So now I'm just going to try and knock this out over here. If you could also get the bolts, that would be a good idea to get this bolt, and this bolt. Because this might happen. You can also get the bolts in the back for these, the lower control arms. The one lower control arm, the upper control arm, and the the lateral link over here. So we'll go ahead and probably knock this out, hopefully, and see what happens here. Okay, now I'm going to use an air hammer on this side to pop the bolt out that side. Okay, so this snapped off. Then hammer that out. Alright, so what I pretty much did was I heated up the sleeve on the inside, the sleeve part where it was rusted up with the bolt, and I used the air hammer over here to pop it out. So I'm going to continue doing that now, trying to pop it out. There you go. So we had to cut this to get a better angle on that. So that bad boy's out. Alright, so the same thing here. We heated up the sleeve and I knocked it out with the air hammer on this side. And now we're going to knock out the rest over here. And this one actually came out real easily. It just screwed out the upper control arm. And this whole thing just pops right out just like that. Alright, so the rest of the bolts weren't that bad. We changed the lateral link, we changed the upper arm, and the lower control arm here. And these bolts, we just had to heat the sleeves up from the inside and whack them out with the air hammer, and they came out. So I don't want to show how to take these out. It's pretty much the same as the other ones that we took out in the front. I don't want to make this video too long. So now I'm going to put the new trailing arm in. Alright, we put a bolt on the top. We're putting a bolt here. But this one we have a jack underneath here, a screw jack. So you might want to jack this up a little bit. I forgot to mention this earlier. You should put a jack in here because the spring is over here. That's good. We're going to put everything in loosely now. We had some new bolts laying around because we had to cut a bolt off on one of them. Alright, so we put that one in, we put that one in. For this one, we just jack this up, put those two in over there. Then we got this to align just by moving this down a little bit on the inside over here with a little pry bar. And we'll tighten that down. So now everything's in loose. We just gotta put the shock in also. We're gonna tighten all these down. Alright, so now all these are tight. I tightened everything down while the spring was compressed. I jacked it up. Alright, so we just plopped the drum in. And you thread the 4 bolts from behind. And make sure the hole for the speed sensor is over there. And now just tighten those 4 bolts down. Putting the VSS in with the new bolt. Put some anti-seize on that, so hopefully next time this comes out it's not going to snap again. We're just going to go ahead and tighten that down too. Alright, so we're pushing this forward. I have some nose pliers. Connect the e-brake over here now. Just like that. And let that go. It's good there. Now back here we connected this, we pushed that in there. Now this connects just like that. Now we put the shock in and tighten that down. With the brake line in place, put the clip in, and now we're just tightening it down. Okay, now spray brake cleaner all over there and clean everything up. So later on, once you bleed everything, make sure you can go over there and check for any leaks. Alright, now put the drum on. Alright, so we're tying this down until it's hard to turn, then back it off slightly, right there. And that's where it should be at. So now we're just going to bleed the brakes. I have a video on how to bleed the brakes. I'll put the link in the description below. Now, this job could be a real pain in the ass, as you can see how the bolts all froze solid onto the inside of the bushings and the sleeves. So I'd caution anybody who wants to do this in the backyard. You're going to have a fine dandy time trying to get all those bolts out. So be prepared if you want to do this on your own. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel. Like me, share me. Also follow me on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. Clowning1969. See ya!